Some NFL players get more love than they really deserve. Each NFL team has at least one of those guys. I'm Justin for Action, and today we take a look at the most overrated player on every NFL team. And a big shout out to Bob Crud for suggesting this list. We do hope you enjoy it, and if you do, feel free to click subscribe for more cool videos every single day. Arizona Cardinals, Carson Palmer. Palmer was barely an above-average quarterback with Cincinnati and mediocre with the Oakland Raiders. He has just one career playoff win. And make no mistake, his success with Arizona is because of quarterback guru Bruce Arians, star running back David Johnson, and future Hall of Famer Larry Fitzgerald. Atlanta Falcons, Mohamed SANU. The Falcons gave SANU a 5-year deal worth $32.5 million. That's a lot of money for a guy who surpassed 500 receiving yards just twice, while catching no more than 5 touchdowns in one season. Baltimore Ravens, Joe Flacco. Sure, he's a Super Bowl champion, but Flacco has just one 4,000-yard season under his belt. 182 career touchdowns versus 117 interceptions isn't a nice stat line for a guy who got a $120.6 million contract. Buffalo Bills' Reggie Bush. Because he set an NFL record for fewest rushing yards in a season with -3, it's enough for the former USC star to make our list. Carolina Panthers' Jonathan Stewart. For a guy who gets a lot of hype, Stewart has just one 1,000-yard season. That was back in 2009. Keep in mind he'd be a nobody behind most other offensive lines, but he plays with one that makes Cam Newton an MVP. Chicago Bears' Alshon Jeffrey. Often hyped as a top 5 wide receiver, Jeffrey has just 6 touchdowns in the last 2 seasons combined after 10 altogether in 2014. His inability to stay healthy has held him back from being the elite receiver you think he is. Cincinnati Bengals' Andy Dalton. He's failed to pass for 20 touchdowns in 2 of the last 3 seasons and has yet to win a playoff game. Backup A.J. McCarron sure looked good in replacing Dalton at the end of 2015. Can you say system QB? Cleveland Browns' Joe Hayden. Hayden was once recognized as an elite shutdown corner, reaching the Pro Bowl in 2013 and 14. After that, he suddenly just stopped covering his guys with consistency and fell off the mat pretty quickly. Dallas Cowboys' Jason Witten. He's a future Hall of Famer, but with just one 1,000-yard season in his past 6 campaigns, it's clear Witten's a bigger name than producer at this point. Denver Broncos' Demaryius Thomas. Thomas is one of the NFL's elite wide receivers from 2012 to 14. Why do people suddenly forget about his elite status? Probably because he hasn't been the same since record-breaking Peyton Manning began to decline in 2014. In other words, Thomas needs an elite quarterback to be great. He drops too many balls, too. Detroit Lions' Marvin Jones. Giving a 5-year, $40 million deal for a career number 2 or 3 receiver was silly. Jones had 23 catches for 482 yards and 2 touchdowns in his first 4 games of 2016, but he caught just 33 passes for 448 yards and 2 touchdowns over the rest of the season. Talk about a 4-week wonder. Green Bay Packers' Randall Cobb. Cobb has failed to build off of a 2014 breakout season. Without Jordy Nelson for 2015, Cobb failed to produce like a number 1 receiver. 2016 was his worst season in which he played double-digit games since his rookie season in 2011. Houston Texans' Brock Osweiler. A Super Bowl champion backup QB got $72 million from the Houston Texans. Well, 15 touchdowns and 16 interceptions aren't exactly spectacular numbers. Indianapolis Colts' Philip Dorsett. The 2015 first-round pick has 51 catches, 753 yards, and 3 touchdowns through his first 2 NFL seasons. Wasn't he supposed to help this offense become a juggernaut? Jacksonville Jaguars' Julius Thomas. After being a star on the Peyton Manning-led Broncos, Thomas chased the money and went to Jacksonville. He has 9 touchdowns in 2 years there after posting 24 total in just 2 seasons with the Broncos. Yeah, he's a product of Peyton. He's not that great. Kansas City Chiefs' JAMAAL Charles. You may want to think of him as an elite running back, but injuries have held him to 8 games in the last 2 seasons. Charles isn't going to regain his form at age 30. He's a big name, but he's no longer a big-time player. The Los Angeles Chargers' Orlando Franklin. He was a good, not great offensive lineman in Denver. It didn't stop the Chargers from giving him a 5-year deal worth $36.5 million. Franklin is not an elite guard like his contract suggests. Los Angeles Rams' Tavon Austin. A 4-year, $42 million extension is one the Rams are surely regretting. Austin's career year was 2016, in which he caught 58 passes for 509 yards and 3 touchdowns. He's paid like a top receiver but puts out third receiver numbers. Miami Dolphins' Mario Williams. The Buffalo Bills made Williams a $100 million man back in 2012. He was good for double-digit sacks per season at first, but only posted 5 in 2015. In 13 games with the Dolphins in 2016, he posted just 3. It's clear the 2006 first overall pick isn't much of an impact player at this point. Minnesota Vikings Cordero Patterson. He was a slick special teams return man in 2013, but he's not even a reliable third receiver. A couple of flashy kick return touchdowns early in his career have given him more love than he deserves. New England Patriots Martellus Bennett. Though praised as a star by some, his 916 yards and 6 touchdowns in 2014 were far and away his best season. He's reached 700 receiving yards just 3 times. Not exactly a Pro Bowler. New Orleans Saints Jarius Byrd. Once an elite ball-hawking safety, Bird's become one of the NFL's worst at the position. That $54 million looks like a huge mess on the Saints' end. New York Giants Victor Cruz. After posting 1,000-yard seasons in 2011 and 12, with 19 total touchdowns in that frame, Cruz has just 6 touchdowns in each of his last 3 seasons. He had 586 yards in 2016. He's not the star he once was at this point. New York Jets Darrelle Revis. Once the NFL's top cornerback for nearly a decade, Revis became one of the league's absolute worst players in 2016. The Hall of Fame awaits, but no more Pro Bowls for Revis Island. Oakland Raiders Marcel Reese. The 4-time Pro Bowler has 844 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns in 7 NFL seasons. He's a Pro Bowler because the fullback position is basically extinct, not because he's a game changer. Philadelphia Eagles Ryan Matthews. The former first-round pick has a pair of 1,000-yard seasons in San Diego. He had just 661 yards in 2016. He's hyped as a top running back, even though he's barely a legitimate number 2 on the Eagles. Pittsburgh Steelers Lawrence Timmons. Once a huge playmaker all over the field, Timmons has lost a lot of speed and effectiveness as a player. He's still good, but not the Pro Bowl guy you think he is at this point. San Francisco 49ers Navarro Bowman. Sadly, he hasn't been the same since suffering a torn ACL in 2014. Bowman is effective, but no longer the defensive superstar he was prior to that injury. Losing Patrick Willis to retirement didn't help him either. Seattle Seahawks Jimmy Graham. He was great with the Saints from 2011 and 14, likely because he was a product of Drew Brees. After a trio of double-digit touchdown seasons in New Orleans, Graham is just 8 with the Seahawks through 2 seasons. Tampa Bay Buccaneers Altarian Werner. He broke out in 2013 as one of the NFL's premier shutdown corners. Tampa gave him a 4-year, $26.5 million deal in 2014. Werner's solid, but he hasn't found the form he once displayed in Tennessee. Tennessee Titans Derrick Henry. The star running back at Alabama finished his rookie year with 490 yards and 5 touchdowns. It's way too early to think he's a star. Hold off on calling him one. Washington Redskins Pierre Garçon. He's hyped as a superstar, but playing with Peyton Manning and Kirk Cousins have made him look better than he really is. Remember, he was an overpaid 2nd or 3rd option with Robert Griffin throwing to him. He has just a pair of 1,000-yard seasons. Not exactly a superstar. Who do you think is the NFL's most overrated player? Join us in the comments below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps us out a ton and we appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to Total Pro Sports though, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching and we'll see you guys next time.